The Baltimore Plot. Kate Warren was a young girl who wanted to be a spy. She was working on a case in Baltimore, spying on the grocery thieves. Kate watched the surprise through a hole in the restaurant wall. She was listening for clues. While she was trying to spy, she overheard men talking at another table. Abraham Lincoln, someone was saying. "We got to get him," said someone else. Was a plot being formed to stop Abraham Lincoln from becoming president? Kate had to find out. She reached into her bag and pulled out a disguise, now dressed like a buzzer. Kate wandered into the restaurant to listen more closely. Kate picked up a tray and began cleaning dishes. She was able to hear the man whispering. "Lincoln will start a civil war," said one man. "Lincoln is going to ruin America," said another. "Let's get him on his way to Washington, D.C. We can't stop him." Kate led the restaurant a restaurant and Pinkerton. He was head of the Pinkerton Detective Agency. "You're too young," Pinkerton started. "I told you before." "Just listen," Kate said. "Someone is going to try to kill Abraham Lincoln." "What?" Pinkerton asked. "This might be our biggest case yet. We have to help Abraham Lincoln get to Washington safely," Kate said. "He is supposed to become our next president." The plan was not to find Lincoln. "What is your plan?" Lincoln asked Pinkerton. "I don't know yet," Pinkerton said. Then Kate, "I have an idea." A day later, Lincoln's train pulled into the station in Baltimore. The engines wheeled straight to a halt. Outside, a large crowd was waiting to catch a glimpse of the new president. Some of them get news. "Where is it to hear Lincoln?" "But who?" The crowd began to cheer as the tall figures in a long jacket and the tallest exited the train. The crowd surrounded the figure, but the tall men were able to push through. "President Lincoln," people called. But the man turned away from the crowd and headed toward an alley. A small group of men followed. "This is the end, Abraham Lincoln," a voice called out. 5 men got behind the tall man. Suddenly, the figure turned around. The top hat came off and so did the long coat. It was Kate Warren upstairs. "Looking for me?" she asked. "No," answered the man called. "It was a trick. Maybe Lincoln is still at the station," another man called. They turned from Kate and rushed back up the street to the train station. Kate followed behind. "I got to see this," she said. The train to Washington, D.C. was pulling out of the station. On the caboose, a tall woman removed her bonnet. It wasn't a woman. It was Abraham Lincoln. "Goodbye, everyone," Lincoln called to the crowd, and off to the White House. The crowd cheered. Pinkerton shook Kate Warren's hand. "Not the president," she said. "You're a fine detective." Pinkerton says, "A fine detective indeed." Think about it. What is the setting of the story? In your own words, how would you describe Kate Warren's plan? What tools does Kate Warren use in the detective world?